the Raptors were missing Pascal Siakam. That's the best player on our team, and having him probably would have made a little bit of a difference, but it's preseason, and we saw a lot of good individual performances, and that is what I'm going to consider a win for the Raptors tonight. All right, so we just watched the Toronto Raptors fall to the Philadelphia 76ers. They end up falling 125 to 113 in this one. Not quite as good of a performance as we saw on Monday, as the Raptors won that one 123 to 107. But today, obviously, couldn't quite get that done. And I think a lot of the credit has to go to the Philadelphia 76ers for this one, because they played extremely well. And I mean, they used Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris, who were not available on Monday. Raptors star Pascal Siakam is still missing. We also didn't have Chris Boucher available for tonight, along with Kem Birch and Yuta Watanabe. So, with guys like that out, I mean, results like this are going to happen when you're playing against a good team like the Philadelphia 76ers. And it is preseason. Obviously you want to win these games in preseason, but the bottom line for me when it comes to preseason is you want to be improving the individuals on your team while working on certain team dynamics while in the game. So the Raptors have really been working on fast break offense, pushing the ball quickly, whether it be Precious Achiuwa ball handling or Scotty Barnes ball handling, and that is what they are continuing to instill. That is what they are going to continue to try to use as we progress through the season. I think that is more important. All these little individual and growth stuff is more important than the actual win-loss stuff, especially for preseason. But I think as we get into the regular season as well, we're going to find that I'm more concerned about people getting better and the team getting better rather than our win-loss record. The biggest win for me is seeing this team grow and lay a foundation for the future. But I mean, ultimately, it is just a preseason game, and it is a preseason game where the 76ers were on fire. I mean, the 76ers, they shot well. We shot well. We shot 48% from the field and 30% from three. On a normal day, that's not terrible. And we put up 113 points, which isn't that bad either. But the 76ers, 125 points, 54% from the field and 49% from three. And that was the difference. They shot 49% from three. That was the difference today. That was the difference on Monday when they shot very poorly from three-pointers. So they cleaned that up. They shoot very well today. And they did a really good job of exposing what the Raptors wanted to do on defense. We had this very heavy rotation system that requires a lot of doubles and a lot of rotations being there early. But the 76ers, and I noticed this in the regular season last season, they did a very good job of exploiting those rotations. They were hoping for the double to come. They were running plays specifically to get the double to come in on certain players. Joel Embiid, for example, he takes a lot of pressure because a lot of guys have to go defend him because he's huge and he's really good at basketball. The Raptors don't have the size to really compete with that. They doubled him a lot, but they wanted the double. They swing it out. There's a late rotation. Philly does an extra pass, and there's an open three, and they were knocking down a ton of them today. Both teams shot 37 three-pointers. Philly hit 18. We only hit 11. So that was a lot of the difference. But again, a lot of what is going to be part of the success for the Toronto Raptors this season is the individual performances. And we got some good individual performances. OG Anunoby was once again the player of the game for the Raptors. 22 points, 8 for 14 from the field, 4 for 7 from three. This guy has been on fire. And he's adding in a lot of different things to his game. This is the thing I'm most concerned about. Individuals getting better. OG Anunoby is all of a sudden taking way more shots off the dribble, whether it be from three or whether it be from mid-range. That is going to unlock other aspects of his game. Fred VanVleet, he was much better today. 7 for 13 from the field, 17 points. Precious Achiuwa was solid, 5 for 11 from the field despite starting 2 for 7. And he's not showing a reluctance to take his jump shots either, so it's nice to see that part of his game developing. Barnes was 8, 5, and 3. That's, a little bit less than what you'd expect his average to be this season, but it's not quite far off. 3 for 7 from the field, not the worst thing in the world. And on the bench, Champagnie played very well again. Malachi Flynn was great off the bench. Mihailuk, again, very, very good off the bench. And Gary Trent was pretty good off the bench as well. So, the Raptors, individually, a lot of good performances. The not good performances, Freddie Gillespie, once again, has completely underwhelmed. There really isn't a scenario where this guy can make the final roster at this point, because 5 minutes, extremely underwhelming, 0 points, 0 rebounds again. He is doing nothing on the court. I can see this guy going down to the G League to make room for somebody like Justin Champagnie to come in and take his position. But once again, guys, this is just preseason. It's preseason. Obviously, you want to go and win games. And when you look at a game like this, where just Philly flat out outplayed you, obviously you don't want to get outplayed, but Philly shot ridiculously from three. They were on fire from three throughout the entire game. We were down by quite a bit at one point. We pulled it back near the end. I always like to see the Raptors. They fight to the final buzzer. But ultimately, this one is going to come down to Philly playing extremely well. The Raptors just couldn't quite keep up. And remember, this is a Philly team that had Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris back. The only real notable that they were missing was Ben Simmons, but I think that they're just going to have to get used to life without Ben Simmons at this point. The Raptors were missing Pascal Siakam. That's the best player on our team, and having him probably would have made a little bit of a difference, but it's preseason, and we saw a lot of good individual performances. And that is what I'm going to consider a win for the Raptors tonight. The Raptors had a lot of good individual performances, and they're showcasing what they want to do throughout the season. They've been working extremely hard on getting all the players to be comfortable ball handling and push it in full court. Precious Achiuwa is a very good example of that. When he gets a rebound, he is the ball handler. They push it down the court extremely quick. And in some situations, even off of a make, get the ball in right away and run a quick offense. Do not hesitate to take your shot no matter who you are. And Mihailuk is a guy who looks unconscious from three. Like, he is just going to shoot everything. And he hit a lot. He was 5 for 7 from the field in this game. Every player can ball handle, and even there was one situation off of a make where Scotty Barnes gets the inbound and runs a 4-second play that gets a free layup for Mihailuk. So this quick play is just absolute chaos for the defensive team to work with. Because we're positionless, because we don't know, or the opposition doesn't know where players are going to be on offense, it's difficult for them to set up against us. So when we move quickly and they can't get set up in any sort of zone or man-to-man defense, it enables us to get some quick baskets and just turn some sort of momentum. There were some certain momentum swings, but ultimately Philly mitigated the storm and kept us at bay throughout the entire second half. So positives to take away from this game: individuals are getting better as a team. Defensively, we could do a little better in defending those three-pointers, but ultimately, I felt like this was a decent performance from the Raptors, and the good news is there's another game right on the way. There's another game against the Boston Celtics only on Saturday. So we're going to bounce back there. I mean, I hate the Celtics. You hate the Celtics. I'd love to bounce back against them. But again, the bottom line is for the entire season, it's about laying down a foundation for the future. You can't start a future contender not laying down a solid foundation here. You get a weak foundation and you build on top of it, it's going to collapse. So build the foundation, build off of this season. This season isn't going to be one where we're like a top 3 seed fighting for a championship. That's absolutely not what's going to happen. But it is going to be a season where a lot of our young guys get better. Goran Dragic is the only player who's over 30 years old on his team, and he's 35. So all these young players are going to continue to improve their game. They're going to continue to get better, which is going to improve the Toronto Raptors. And as they grow together as a team, that is only going to make this team stronger for future situations. But for now, we got to understand that games like this are going to happen, especially against better teams like the 76ers. Let's bounce back Saturday against the Boston Celtics.